Sister to Sister.
Well, hi, welcome to Sister. We have a great segment for you because this is a touchy question. Here it is. If you found out your daughter is sexually active, would you give her birth control?
I love these kind of questions,
You
Kathy.
do?
I do. I really do. You know, because the church has to be relevant for today. And I just want to put emphasis on the question is saying, if the child is already sexually active, because I know what we're quick to jump to, we're quick to say, well, you're giving them permission. No, they're already doing it, okay? So at that point, it shifts into you're the child's protector. And I always say sin has a downward spiral effect. So they're sexually active. I think all of us know about the birds and the bees. You know, if they're sexually active, then they are more apt to get pregnant, have a child out of season, if you will, for lack of a better way of putting it. And then they're going to be connected to this person and this family for the rest of their life. And at that age, they just don't have, I mean, think about what you were attracted to at 16. Think about what you were attracted to in your 20s, then your 30s, and your 40s. Keep it going, however old you are. So, you know, that person that you were with at 16, is that really who you wanted to spend your life with as you look back? You know, so I think that as the child's protector and educator, you need to work with them, educate them. I'd rather know what my child is taking because there are side effects to everything. And so, you know, your child cycle could change. And you could be thinking that's all it is the cycle's changing. They could actually be hemorrhaging or dealing with some side effects from the birth control, but you wouldn't even know that they are on birth control. Because if you don't get it for them, more than likely they'll get it themselves.
See, and it could be your son too. It could be your son. What do you do if it's your son?
I dealt with my son. I want everybody to have a chance to talk, but I've definitely had to deal with my son. Yeah.
Corey, what do you have?
I definitely have an opinion on this, and I know that those who've been through it will say, well, you haven't really been through it yet, and I understand that. But for me, this is a black and white issue. I do not think that you should put your child on birth control. I do not think you should provide birth control for them. I think that birth control is only protecting them from part of the consequences, the physical part of the consequences. Birth control is not going to protect your kids from the emotional and the spiritual consequences. So I think it's a battle worth fighting. And they might go off and then do it on their own, but I am not going to be the provider of that. I just feel like, why would you make a rule for your child where you say, you know, this is God's rule, this is our rule in our home, you're not going to have sexual relationships, and then provide a way for them to break that rule? To me, I think it's super confusing.
But the rule's already broken. The child's already having sex.
I understand that, and I think that's a battle you have to fight. And, I have not had to fight that battle yet, and I understand that. But my husband and I have agreed that we are not going to be the providers of that, and I just feel like for us, it's a black and white issue.
Wow, you have teenagers.
I do, and I have a daughter who's a freshman in college, and this has come up. You know, and she has a boyfriend, but she knows our moral take on things as well, the biblical choices. And I feel, you know, like this, we've actually had this conversation, and at this point, we're not providing to her, you know, substance, you know, to help her with the outcome of having a premarital sexual relationship. And so this is a choice. My child is an adult.
I was going to say, you're talking about,
they, you know, she needs to make the right decisions for her life, and knowing it's unrealistic to me to say that there's no repercussions to having a sexual relationship before marriage. Myself, just to be transparent, you know, I didn't have sex with anyone, but I've kissed other people, and it's something how the enemy can bring that back around or arouse like a feeling toward that individual or something, and then you have to deal with it, and it's 20 years later and you're like, ooh, I don't like, you know, that I even have that thought. I didn't have to have it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't want, for my children, I don't want them to have to walk down those roads, but we've walked down some pretty tough
Difficult
roads.
roads.
Yeah.
Wow. That is what the sisters think on this particular issue. Stay tuned next time. You never know what they're going to say.